All right there. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to whoever it is out there watching. This is an ALTTPR League match, Week 1, Open Mode, Defeat Ganon. On the left side, we've got Kyong representing the kinda rando retired team. On the right side, we have SneakyWombat, who are representing Team Hot Dish here. My name is Dazed Cloud. I'm going to be your commentator today, so this should be, a good fun time here. Doing our tracking today, I'm probably going to butcher your name there, but it's our tracker today is the venerable Idiomp. We're gonna go with that. If I'm close enough. Other than that, you guys, we are. This is gonna be a real fun looking good race here. Kyong is well known within the community as one of the best racers around, and it looks like we're off already. So I'll come back to that later. Starting off in Link's house, we're going to pick up 5 rupees, and both runners are matched up and going to do the exact same Uncle start, it looks like. All right, both of them have their signs, so they're going to be going for this first little tree pull here. Kills the guard. Just a 5 arrow drop there on Kyung's side. Nothing for SneakyWombat. And the tree pull the first level tree pull is just a fairies. So, I mean, not particularly useful yet, but we'll have to see if that'll come back later. And there's some bombs in the first chest in the uncle's area there, and a sword on Uncle. Well, all right, and it looks like we're going to take that sword, and Kyung is immediately going to go into the escape sequence, and it looks like SneakyWombat is right behind him. So we're going to get a quick early check of escape here. That's going to be first 3 items, and if either of the runner is feeling particularly ambitious, they could go all the way to the back and get that taken care of immediately. Going to have to see what they want to do early here, because a dark escape isn't the most difficult for our runners, but it can easily go poorly for you, especially with only 3 hearts. Kyung getting a nice little spin on the first blue guard there, gets rewarded with a piece of heart. SneakyWombat having a little bit more trouble, but gets his piece of heart, and he'll be moving on. Okay, and Kyung goes ahead and is going to into the boomerang room here of escape, lures over the guard, picks up 50 rupees, gets his key, and is on to the basement as SneakyWombat is following him as we speak here. Now, as I was kind of mentioning earlier, Kyung is known in the community as one of the top level runners. He's has finished very highly in most of the tournaments over the past couple of years here, and it looks like he's going to favor the kind of NMG-ish strats here for this guard. You got to be a little careful there. He's down to 1 heart, but he gets him down without too much problem, and sets up a bomb for his death warp there, and going there. Sneaky on the other side, he's going to opt for the kind of easier pot and throw it at the guard technique there, because setting up that kind of rhythmic kill with the fighter sword can be kind of difficult. Now, Kyung's going to go to the back, while SneakyWombat looks like he's going to head directly to Kakariko Village here. All right, now Kyung's making his way through the snake room there, the first snake room, and gets down the stairs and is going to be working his way. He's got to find this one chest that's in kind of an awkward place in the Dark Cross here. He's going to hold out his sword to kind of help him guide where it is here. Having a little trouble finding it at first. Going to get a lumberjack check up from SneakyWombat. And Kyong picked up something. And hey, our bush crab though is giving us a 20 rupee drops, big 20s from our bush crab today. So he's a friendly guy. Now, get a little map check there. That's a 5 and 6 crystal on Hera and Desert Palace, and that looks to be a blue crystal, blue pendant, excuse me, on Eastern Palace there. Into the Lost Woods we go. We find the red boomerang there sitting in the mushroom spot, and in the drop down is a piece of heart. Both runners are going to make their way from this point into Kakariko Village, and that's going to be the first big trove of items here. Looks like I'm guessing that's the tier 2 tree pull over on Kyong's side. That's just some bloopies there, so he's going to pick up another quick 20 rupees. And down we go into Kakariko. Now on SneakyWombat's side, that is a Batman sprite there. There are something like, I want to say 183. For some reason that number is jumping into my head. 183 different sprites available for you guys to use here. And it does look like Kyong did not pick up any of the bush crabs here, but there is money in Kakariko, so it shouldn't really come back to bite him by any means. Bottom of Blind's basement here is just some money and some inventory items here. Nothing actually interesting quite yet. As we get to the back here, and there's just bombs in the back of Blind's hut, which will help out Kyong because he had used his last bomb to open that door, so he's not going to have to go and worry about buying bombs or anything like that. So the first big five chest area had nothing here, and now we're moving on to the next one here in the well. And starting out with just 20 rupees there, and into the back, behind the bombable wall, we'll find just a piece of heart. And our lamp, 50 rupees, and there's our first power glove for the day there, and it looks like, yep, that would be right there. Chat is bringing up that it does look like Kyong picked up a shield from the Dark Cross there earlier. So you really are looking for, but you know, it'll work, I guess. We go. And that's where we pick up a very conveniently placed fairy. So we get our first bottle right there, and that is right next door to our sick kid, which the only way that you can get sick kid to give you an item is if you have a bottle. So the timing on that really couldn't have been better for these two runners there. Back of the tavern just with a piece of heart. And sick kid giving some bombs. So Kyong going down and buying those bombs there. Unfortunately, a little bit of a waste of money there. 10 bombs, though, is a lot better to have than the 4 he would have had otherwise. So he's not going to complain too much about that, I think. SneakyWombat on the right there is going to give us our first look at the library. And we see a Beetorb in a bottle on there. And yeah, SneakyWombat is just gonna immediately go to the race game here, and This could save him a little bit of time if it turns out something like the Moon Pearl or the Hammer is sitting back here. Kyung's doing the same thing, surprisingly, actually, and we'll see that they're going to be rewarded with the Master Sword. A heck of a thing to find right there. That's great. And getting a save and quit from SneakyWombat, and I wouldn't be surprised to see us move down to the southern shore and see what we can find here. Now that Master Sword, yes, does open up Aga, but until you find that Moon Pearl, you're going to be very hesitant typically to go to Aga, because pop up on the pyramid as a bunny. Although I will admit to be very, very curious what exactly the Batman's bunny sprite is, because I don't know, and I'm gonna wait to I can't wait to find out that one. Now Kyong on the other side is taking that glove and he's following the one bit of progression that you can kind of get from it here. Picks up 20 rupees and a heart container out of the back of Escape. So yeah, nothing too amazing back there. Now, SneakyWombat has drained our dam, finding another pack of 3 bombs, and is making the desert play, which is looking pretty good, it looks like. Up a bunch more rupees there from these bush crabs. With them dropping big 20s, you kind of want to get whatever you can here. Opting to go down to the kind of little known, little used maybe, Bloopy hut here. You can pick up 50 rupees by lifting up all of these pots here. I think he might be fishing for Zora money as soon as we can. Here, deciding to go back in there. This is kind of a waste of time for him, unfortunately, because there is another bush crab just up and to the left of where he currently is, that if he picked it up would save him a little bit more time. Alright, but he got his 500 rupees, and now he's on into the desert. Kyung's going the exact same way. These two are... Kyung has gotten the dark cross check ahead of SneakyWombat right now, but other than that, these two are kind of hive-minding their checks here a little bit, which is kind of funny to see. Alright, and they pull out their bombs and get a quick look here. Kyung and SneakyWombat together are going to open this chest just to see that they have been rewarded with a bloopy. Neither of them checked the desert ledge. And probably it's now time for us to be heading down towards the south shore and gunning into Mini Moldorm Cave and such here. Alright, so now it's time for the third of our usually important early game checks here, as this is one more of these caves with 5 items inside of it here. First, you got to kill these mini Moldorms. Kyung's opting for some bombs and some sword strats, takes them down awfully quickly. Alright, first chest was bombs, then we got our Titan's Mitts, Arcane of Samaria, a piece of heart, and 20 rupees there as well. So the Aga seed is starting to look questionable at this point. If you're looking for an Aga seed, you're asking for that Moon Pearl to be on the pyramid. I'm doing a pretty good job of dealing with these incredibly annoying crabs over on the southeast side of Hyrule. He's down with 2, he's running through with 2 hearts here, and with green mail, these crabs will do 2 hearts of damage each time. You can see he's taking, there's a little hesitation there to try to wait out the crab to see exactly what direction are they going to go, because they are very, dangerous, kind of random. SneakyWombat is also kind of having to deal with the same thing here. He's got 2 hearts. He's being extra cautious here, taking a little bit of extra time to kind of get over here as that crab, ooh, got very close, man. Though holding out your sword you would think would help a lot of times, but sometimes those crabs can just kind of avoid your sword point and put you down. And that's a terrible place to die, because it's a long, long walk back. Now, SneakyWombat, interestingly enough there, deciding to go ahead and save and quit from that area there, and probably this is either going to be a mountain play or he's going to go to the back of escape, and it looks like it is back of escape first. Now, Kyong, on his side there, he's currently in a fake flipper state. Now, this is a trick that you can set up fairly easily there. You have to basically jump into the water as you are transitioning the screen there. So if you're setting it up 1 pixel away from the screen transition, you can jump right in and pick up and hold left and screen transition, and that will put you into a flipper state. Now, you have to be careful, because if you take any damage during that time, you will immediately game over, which is better than in the vanilla version, when if you do it, you immediately hard lock your game. So it's one of the little bonuses that the developers of the randomizer have put in to make this a little bit more user-friendly, let's say. And on SneakyWombat's side, we are getting confirmation that yes, it was just the Fisher-Price plastic shield in the Dark Cross here, and Kyong's going to go ahead and see that it's just a red rupee on the lumberjack things there, and both of these runners look like they're headed up to Death Mountain first, which is understandable here. You're at this point, we are looking for a Moon Pearl, and we have the mountain, we have Sasharala, and we've got Eastern Palace, and that's it at the moment here. So one of these places has to have our Moon Pearl. We've got 2 items available to us now at the mountain. Our runners will be showing us those here in just a second. And Chad is pointing out that yes, we do have Zora as well. That is something easily forgotten by your commentator today. Thank you, Chad. I'm going to trust you guys to keep me honest today, considering it's just me in the booth by my lonesome with a cup of coffee. All right, Kyong doing a pretty good job of dodging those lovely random cabbages here. SneakyWombat's turn here. Looks like he's getting up the ladder without any problem. And Kyong is just immediately going to jump into Spectacle Rock Caves, figuring that, you know, if we need it, in this way. And that is just 20 rupees, and that's going to be an immediate save and quit from Kyong there. SneakyWombat's going to save a little bit of time here by just going in the top entrance, seeing it, and then immediately saving and quitting as well. And off to the east we go. If we don't find anything in Sasharala, it's gonna be an eastern dip for these runners for sure, because like I said, you don't have Moon Pearl, so if you're rushing Aga, you don't want to do it without the Moon Pearl, because it'll just cause you problems. As SneakyWombat is heading south here, I think he's going to check the Lake Hylia island there. That is just a heart container. As we're into Sasharala, and we'll find in his closet, he's going to have 20 rupees, the Ether Medallion, and there is our Moon Pearl. Kyong had a bit of indecision, kind of thought maybe I'll go to Eastern, and immediately turned around and said, no, that's silly. I'm saving and quitting and getting on with the rest of the game. So Mids plus the Moon Pearl, that only opens up one Dark World point for us here. So we're going to go to the village to find out. And SneakyWombat talked to Sasharala. He's given us a Swamp Palace green pendant today. Okay, and here we go into the Dark World. Now, for your Dark World access here, now hold on just a second. It looks like our red pendant was over there on Ice Palace, and the red crystals I couldn't catch here, and SneakyWombat is going... Ooh. Where is he going? This I'm wondering if this is a Zora. I feel like this is a fake flipper into Zora here on SneakyWombat's side. It's a bit of a long walk to do it this way. With that Moon Pearl, he did open up the Waterfall Fairy, so this will be a little bit more profitable for him as Kyong picks up the big key out of the big key chest in in Skull Woods there. Alright, it takes the Death Warp to get there, to get to the front really quick. Unfortunately, so he's gonna have to walk now. This is unfortunately something that every runner who has played Rando has done many times in the past there. I don't know if that was an intentional Death Warp or just kind of got caught in the corner there by the Gibdos. With Green Mail, they do 2 hearts of damage on each shot, and Kyong is currently sitting with just 6 hearts, so hard to say exactly. Having a little misadventure there with his first bomb jump attempt. Second one didn't go so well either. Hits it across there on the 3rd attempt. Is rewarded with a small key that he can use to open the door to his left if he wants. And a compass just in the chest to the right. So we're still looking for things. Now, SneakyWombat on his side, he's going to give us a little bit more information here. As we get a tempered sword on Kyung's side. That is a great find here. That makes the rest of the game much, much easier. And our Waterfall Fairy today had Blue Mail, so that's a nice thing to find for SneakyWombat there. Definitely makes a lot of things easier, and that would be an intentional Death Warp for sure on Kyung's side, as he picks up a map out of that pinball room compass there. Now, I'm very surprised. I could have sworn that I saw SneakyWombat jump out of the water there, or walk over the land. He's currently in a water walk state, so the same rules apply for the fake flipper state. If you get hit in this, it's going to knock you back to a flipper state, and you might soft lock. So we'll take a quick look here, and just bombs on King Zora. So nothing too interesting. Now, I unfortunately was watching SneakyWombat, did not see if there was anything on Bumper Ledge on Kyung's side there. I'm going to have to ask my tracker or chat if you guys saw anything. I'm not seeing you guys blow up in excitement about anything, so I'm assuming nothing important. Alright, C-Shape House, just giving us a piece of heart there. Nothing too interesting. And SneakyWombat is now going to make his way over to the Dark World portal just north of Kakariko Village there, and we'll start checking some of the things that Kyung has just been showing us. We're going to start off with a Bombos medallion there in the chest game. So we now have access to Ice Palace, but be horribly out of logic at the moment. You'd have to fake flipper in there, and you wouldn't be able to complete it because you don't have any sort of hammer to complete the dungeon there. Alright, we've got a nice long look at the map over on SneakyWombat's side there, so Ice Palace is our other pendant, as we've shown, and Swamp Palace being our green pendant means that flippers are not really something that our runners want to see today, because if we find flippers, that might tell them that, hey, guess what, guys, you got to go into a pendant dungeon today. Good luck with that. As Kyong is doing just a huge amount of digs there to get a piece of heart, and he decides, yeah, no thank you, I'm gonna continue on with my stuff. SneakyWombat here in just a moment is about to go get his tempered sword out of the pot prison room over here, as Kyong has now picked up Jeremiah and it's going to lead him around the world here to hopefully pick up something from him eventually. Maybe if he can find a mirror and a flute, it will make this a little bit of a quicker way to go. But man, we are, for our next sort of progression, we're 25 minutes in and really unable to complete a whole heck of a lot right now. Now, on SneakyWombat's side there, he got kind of lucky in a way, because he ended up dropping down into the front of Thieves without really having a small key. Now, if you, it's not a common occurrence, as, hold on, I'll be gonna get a hype cave check here. Piece of heart. The bug net. Piece of heart. And 20 rupees. So there's your standard, yeah, hype cave right now. Now, to go back to what I was saying there, you need to be careful about jumping into one of the pits in Skullwoods anymore, because one of the changes in the V31 logic means that there is no longer a guaranteed key in that pinball room. So you can jump in there, and if you don't have a key, you can end up kind of getting yourself stuck and having to force a save and quit here. SneakyWombat is going for his bomb jump across. You're generally going to be safe, but man, yeah, if you jump in there and find out that there's maybe the map, the compass, and maybe the big key back there, you're stuck and you're having to save and quit, and that's a long walk back for you. As, oh, unfortunately, SneakyWombat was trying to cut the corner and fell back into Skullwoods, so he's going to have to walk back out. That's unfortunate. Ooh, taking a hearted damage there as well, so he's got to be careful. I don't think he wants to burn his fairy yet, and looks like he's going to. Now on Kyung's side, he turned in the blacksmith, and as I'm not seeing a whole lot of excitement from chat, I'm assuming that it sounded like just a couple of rupees from my ears. As Dark World, and I wouldn't be surprised if we find, if this is time to go into Thieves Town. One of the things with myths is Thieves Town can possibly require you to have the hammer to open the big chest. And okay, SneakyWombat's going to go for that same corner cut again. He got it this time. Not really sure why he's going this way. It doesn't really save him any time, but this route will get him back into the village there without too much problem. And into Thieves Town we do go. Now, if Kyung sees a small key, he's going to have a decision to make about whether or not he wants to keep going into the dungeon and risking orphaning something in the big chest out there. Now, for Kyung here, and for SneakyWombat, goes there. We pick up the bow out of Thieves Town here, and so far we've not seen a small key, so though that bow doesn't really help a lot yet, and that is an adorable little mushroom bunny sprite on Kyung's side there. That bow doesn't really help unless you feel like either completing Eastern for the, I believe it was the blue pendant, or you feel like going to the east side of the Dark World. Now, to go to the east side of the Dark World, you've got two choices. The logically intended way, it looks like so far, is to do Aga. So that's back on the table. The not so logically intended way is to either do a Kern jump or one of the new fake flipper Ancilla splash delete glitches. It's a little early to call that. We've still got 2 items left in Thieves Town, plus whatever is in the purple chest. But my suspicions have been raised, let's call it that way. We'll see what we get here in just a minute. And yeah, that bottle's not gonna be too helpful there for Kyong, unfortunately. The safety is nice, but a runner of his caliber doesn't typically need that, and he would probably much rather have some sort of progression. As on SneakyWombat's side, he picks up his bow, and he's going to have a couple of choices as well as what he wants to do with that. And it is Bruce Wayne on the SneakyWombat side. Was that Bruce Wayne or was that Two-Face? Oh no. And there is the small key there in Thieves Town. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that we are 100% leaving an item behind here. There is 1 item left, but we're now 50-50 for if there's an item in the big chest. And Kyung moves on to his blind fight here. Gets a nice little pun there from blind. It's 9 hits with any weapon that does damage to blind here. And if you have played this game as much, or if you've watched enough Rando, you should be pretty familiar with the script here, as Kyung is following it perfectly so far. Gets 1 more hit, and there is his 9th hit before blind can even get back to the center. Great fight there. And picks up some bombs, so we're not worried about anything in the big chest today there in Thieves Town. And at 30, let's just call it 32 minutes in, we get our first crystal of the day. The script to complete that fight is not overly difficult. It requires a lot of practice. One of the things that you can do to get good at that is if you are on the Discord there, there is a practice version of this game for speedrunning and such like that. That is something that a lot of people use, and you can just reset over and over and over and over and over again. And right, because once you get it right, you're generally good to go for the rest of the time. It's good. It's a good fun here. So it's time for the purple chest here, and failing this, I wonder if we're gonna go to Eastern. That is just 20 rupees. So we're gonna save and quit here. And what do you want to do today, Kyung? That is the question. SneakyWombat is making his way into the back here, picking up the maiden from her cell that is actually the boss of the dungeon in disguise. And Kyung is motoring, it looks like, over to the yeah, over to the Dark World portal here. I imagine we're about to see a current jump or some sort of fake flipper deletion, splash deletion glitch here. So if you've never seen this is kind of an interesting thing to watch here as SneakyWombat moves into his blind fight here. Gets his first hit, gets his second hit, gets his third hit. Looks to be following the script pretty well so far. Okay, getting a little off script now. Got to be a little careful. He's got only the... And he's opting for a Samaria backup here. He's down to just a heart left and takes a fireball there and it's going to go down to blind. That is kind of unfortunate. And unfortunately, he did use that fairy earlier there, so he's going to have to come back in. Hopefully he remembers where a couple of the hearts are so that he can fill his magic up there, because when you go down to blind, it is really unfortunate because at that point you cannot do the script at all. And it looks like Kyong is working on getting this kern jump here, and he's got it set up there. He's jumping just a little bit early. Works is you need to be exactly 1 pixel above the ledge. Then you need to time your jump into there. He's a little bit too high there. And if you time your jump perfectly as you jump in and hold down, yeah, he's still a little bit too high, so he's not going to be able to get it there. You need to be exactly 1 pixel up, and he got it there. He must have gotten a little... There is quite a thing there. And did he do the Ancilla splash delete? And SneakyWombat on his side. Sorry, I was getting distracted by the current jump happening. Takes down blind on his second attempt and is rewarded with his 3 bombs. That current jump, it's right, you're going to get it most of the time, but it's like a lot of the glitches in this game, it requires being on the exact right space. And that's something that even a runner of like Kyong's caliber can, it takes maybe a couple of attempts to get that exactly right. It's not easy by any means, as we're rewarded with an ice rod from Catfish. So that jump has already paying off there, because that is one of the most annoying necessary items in the game, and Kyong just pulled it out from Catfish. So no ice rod hunts today for our runners, which is kind of nice for them. Alright, now Kyong is going to make his way down to the pyramid, as it looks like SneakyWombat is taking a little bit of extra time to dig up a little bit of extra money from the dig game there. It's got enough money for paying off his monkey friend over in Pod. You're gonna need 110 rupees there for the monkey to open up your thing, as we find just the lonely single rupee on top of the pyramid. SneakyWombat has now picked up Jeremiah, and he's going to start dragging him around. He'll be checking Hype Cave and Stumpy here in just a moment. And then he'll have to make his way back into the village to pick up the purple chest and pick up the item from him. So this is one place where the routing that Kyong did really helps him. It's saving him a little bit of time, because he's not having to double track multiple times in order to check a lot of these locations. And that's one of the biggest differences between what you would call maybe a top tier runner and somebody who's maybe learning the game a little bit more, is as you play this game over and over and over, you kind of learn how to group your routes a little bit better and try to force yourself to not backtrack as much as possible. And we are into pod now on Kyong's side, and Hype Cave is about to give SneakyWombat its whole load of nothing. We are not bow-locked out of pods, so there's going to be some items in here. We just have to figure out exactly what it is. Now, I think both of these runners would be very, very, very happy to find some boots here pretty soon, because they've now been walking around with the emphasis on walking around for the last 40 minutes in this game. And boots makes this a whole lot more fun. We can actually do, you know, a speed run of this game. SneakyWombat is making this long, slow walk back to Kakariko there to turn in the Smith, and it's especially in a competition setting like this, you can just feel every second tick by. As we've got key, and key in our first 3 chests in pod, and chest number 4 is also another key, so we've got at least probably 2 items here on the bow-locked side of pod. Now, on SneakyWombat's side, we're getting a little bit of divergence here. Instead of doing that purple doing the purple chest here, we are headed over to Eastern Palace. This was one of the few places remaining that we had left to check, so we could very well find progression here, or we could find it in the map chest in pod. There is that hook shot. That is a huge find for him, because that opens up quite a bit of the game, and we're going to take a quick death warp to get to the front. That hook shot is a great find, because that opens up everything on Death Mountain pretty much. That is going to open up your Paradox Cave, your Spiral Cave, your Hookshot Cave, and your Super Bunny Cave. You'll get to find out exactly what the medallion requirement is for Turtle Rock as well. That's a huge find there for Kyong, because that is, man, that's 14 chests that he just got access to with that. And to answer a question in chat, yes, yeah, we're not in logic. In order to get over to this side, Kyong did basically a fake flipper glitch. It looked like a kern jump there. I kind of was watching SneakyWombat at the time. He kern jumped over to the right side of the east side of Dark World to get here. We are technically in logic. That is right. The logic is asking you, though, to go beat Aga. Kyong skipped Aga because nobody wants to do that. That's not fun. Thank you, chat. You're right. And so far, looks like Eastern Palace isn't giving SneakyWombat anything, as he pulls out his big key there. It's 300 rupees out of the dark maze here, and we've got 2 more checks in before we can find out exactly what we got. One of them is the big key. And you'll have to excuse me, the commentary stream is doing a little buffering for me here. And we find blue mail in the big chest, so Kyong gets a new hat, and more importantly, that hook shot. So we're going to be headed right up to the mountain right about now, I believe. And yep, and here we go. Now on SneakyWombat's side, he picks up a Quake medallion out of the big chest in Eastern Palace, and we're going to go around and find out what's in the big key chest over here. and trying to get trying to get a little bit more information about if this was necessary. Kyong will at least show us what's on what Turtle Rock is, and if it's Quake, that Quake medallion will be quite a nice find for SneakyWombat, because Kyong could put that off for a long time. And into Paradox Cave, we find 20 rupees and the flippers. So, like I was saying earlier, they didn't really want to find the flippers, because both Swamp Palace and Ice Palace are pendants today. I don't think either runner is going to be too excited about going into there. You don't really want to do that. Swamp's not open yet, right, because we do need mirror, but if you hadn't found the flippers at all, you never would have even been tempted. And this is we got a mushroom as the other item out of Eastern Palace. Thank you very much. I was kind of wondering exactly what is SneakyWombat up to right there. He's going for another one of these fake flipper setups right there, where we can jump. You got to jump into the water, basically, and hold left as you to force a screen transition. Now, this one in particular is quite difficult to do. Now, he's going to use the bomb setup, which is, unfortunately, I think he's a little... He's got to put the bomb further away from the edge, unfortunately, or else he's just going to get blown into the water over and over and over again. All right, I think he's got it right this time. Down, and there he goes. He's got it all set up there. And our spiral cave, according to chat, doesn't look like it had anything of interest because nobody is getting excited. So into the dark world checks we go. Man, outside of that, those flippers. All right, game. Reveal your secrets to us here, because, man, we need something else to do. All right, that mushroom is not going to be the answer either, because that was just a piece of heart. We're going to get our fire shield here and our mirror shield in Super Bunny Cave, which will now be known as Shield Cave, apparently. So Kyong just added lag to the rest of his game, unfortunately. That's pretty much... The mirror shield is good for laser bridge, and that's about it. Like, and there's other ways of getting around that laser, so... That's one of those where you're just not too happy, and that blue jelly's just not having it there for Kyong, unfortunately. And 10 arrows as our second chest, a piece of heart, and some bombs. Now, over on SneakyWombat's side, yeah, this is what I was kind of wondering about. It looks like he's going to go for the Aga play now. There are ways to skip Aga on Kyong's side. Now, quick note real fast. That was Quake on Turtle Rock. So that Quake medallion that Sneaky found in Eastern Palace, that is actually 100% required. So that's a little bit of an advantage there for SneakyWombat. Now, game, are you... that we're going to be going into... Are we going into... Oh man, I think we might have to go into a hammerless ice palace here. Oh. Oh, ew. And Kyong picking up his red mail there from the waterfall cave, and it's now got a new hairstyle to go with his new hat. I believe that's the Marissa sprite that Kyong tends to favor there. Like I said before, as right now we've got both runners kind of just retracing each other's footsteps right here. I'll say this, if you could, go ahead and give these runners a follow. Being in this league, it means that these guys, play this game just a little bit. So if you're enjoying what you see, be a good idea to go and, say hi in their chat, say, hey, congratulations on being in the league, such like that. Also, I'll say this right now. As you can see, I'm commentating by myself today. If you're looking to get involved with the Rando community, we have a Discord available where you can go and help out and learn to play and all sorts of fun things there. Highly recommend it because this game is a blast and the community is really, 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 really fantastic. So if you would, come on over, say hi to all of us, and we'd be glad to help you out with everything. SneakyWombat is now making their way up to the top of Aga Tower, and he has a date with a wizard, and it looks like Kyong is gonna go ahead and get into Eastern Palace because, yeah, you don't want to go to Ice Palace. Nobody wants to go to Ice Palace. It's not fun. Also, big shout outs to our tracker here as well. EDM. I think I said that wrong, but whatever. EDM, something like that. And go ahead there in chat. We've got a big key guessing game. Not a big key guessing game. We've got the Aga blue ball guessing game. I'm seeing a 3, and if you want to get your chat guesses in, you can do it right now. As unfortunately, SneakyWombat missing the very first energy bolt right there. All right, there is one blue ball there for SneakyWombat. And we're on to our lightning phase here. Aga runs the same way every time. You get 4. The first shot is always an energy bolt. Then you get chances of either blue balls or energy balls that you can reflect back. And after the 4th one, you're going to get a little bit of lightning. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of lightning here just after this next set here. By my count, that should be 2 blue balls, I think. And that was energy ball number 5 and number 6. So it looks like if you had 3 as your guess there, you win internet points. So congratulations on the internet points. They can be redeemed on the internet. I guess I didn't really have anywhere going with that. Moving on, so Kyong has picked up his Quake medallion, so that's one less thing that he needs to worry about. He's got all of the really annoying items picked up in the game. He has all 3 medallions plus the ice rod, so he's not going to be spending a whole lot of time looking for other things here. SneakyWombat on his side is about to re-show us that ice rod location here. Man, this is just a really pretty slow grinding seed here. It's not often that you get 52 minutes into a game and both runners have 1 crystal because that's all that you have available to you. Now Kyung picks up that mushroom and is probably thinking, oh, okay, it's in the witch's hut, and is likely about to get some really bad news in just a second. Alright, SneakyWombat picks up his ice rod, so we've got the annoying items out of the way. Now we just need to find some of the, necessary items here. Alright, we're coming up to the witch's hut, and Kyung's about to get the bad news that, yeah, unfortunately, no, this isn't it either. Yeah, it's not often that the solution to the seed would be to have fake flippered at a completely random, crazy time to have done it, but apparently that was the way to god mode the seed here, and yep, that is just a piece of heart and a save and quit, and he's off. Not a hard reset either. He's gonna just say, "Oh, forget that mushroom. I don't want it." One thing he could have done there is he could have kept the done a hard reset and kept that mushroom. With having the mushroom plus the Cane of Samaria, those items combined allow you to do the fake powder glitch. But Kyong has decided not to do that. And yep, and bringing up a good point, our tracker is bringing up a good point. You can't even get to Magic Bat yet. You don't have the mirror and you don't have the hammer. So either way that you could get to Magic Bat, you can't go. And yeah, Kyong has decided it is time for Hammerless Pendant Ice Palace. Those words together are terrible. Alright, get your guesses in. What sort of progression are we going to find in here? Are we going to find a hammer? Are we going to find a book? Are we going to find a... Oh man, what else is left? Hammer, book, fire rod, what else is there? Hammer, book, fire rod, and there was something else. Mirror. But yeah, we are still quite a few things. Or we could get really silly and find the shovel and then have to go that way to get our progression. Because when a seed gets this silly, why not let it go the full silly? And also flute. Yes, that's right. We're still massively from anything that resembles good go mode here. Boots could be it as well. If we find boots, that opens up 2 more locations for our poor unfortunate runners right now. As SneakyWombat is making his way back, and he's about to get his hook shot, which seems like a really good item to find, but unfortunately is only going to get him the flippers, which will end up with him having to come down to Ice Palace eventually. I say eventually because it's not an easy one to decide to come down, as Kyong pulls a very nice little hookshot grab there on the stairs. That is a kind of an annoying place to do it there, but is one of the faster ways to get through that area there. It's rewarded with just the compass, so on we go. As SneakyWombat there just picks up his hookshot, so... And continuing on. SneakyWombat looks to be, yeah, he's deciding that, you know, I'm going to set up a death warp here, and since he's got blue mail, it's much faster for him to use these spikes, as Kyong picks up the big key out of Ice Tea Room. And is now going to work his way back around to that chest. Now, I'm a little surprised because he's still got one more chest available to him upstairs. But because if it turns out that this is not this is not his progression, he's going to have to walk all the way back. And that's just a red rupee, so, you know, go back to Ice Tea Room now. Oh gosh. I'm very, very glad that I am not running this seed, because this thing is just mean in all the worst ways right now. And SneakyWombat's picking up his keys right there from the front of Pod there. Pod also nicknamed as the Mullet Mansion there because it's usually business in the front and party in the back. And yeah, we're going to be, Chad is pointing out a incredibly surprising thing here is that we're going to hit the hour mark here and only have one crystal. There's your hammer in the, oh my god, that's just awful. All right, well now you've got half of the game available to you. So what do you want to do now? It looks like the first thing we're going to be going for is this is what, Turtle Rock? Yeah, this is going to be Turtle Rock, it looks like. Turtle Rock and probably a Hera clear up here. A Hera first, but yeah, I mean... Oh, well, Turtle Rock, yeah, what am I saying? Sorry, I've got the chat window is covering up the fact that Kyong doesn't have the Fire Rod, which would make Turtle Rock slightly difficult. Alright, well, let's move our way over to Hera here. So that hammer has opened up, Hera, it's opened up a little bit of Turtle Rock. Probably going to get locked out of that pretty quickly. Other than that, it's opened up, let's see here, let's count it out. It's opened up Hammer Pegs, which is fun. It's opened up, well, I guess it hasn't opened up Magic Bat anymore because both of the runners decided to not keep their mushroom. As we get half magic in the front basement of Hera. I have never seen that Moldorm get to that point here, and it looks like we're going to see this would be the, Kyung had a little hiccup there, but we're going to see a Hera pod here. This is a different setup than the one I'm used to, but he's trying to get on the right pixel. This is another one of those tricks that if you're on the right pixels, everything is fine. And in he goes, no problem there. Ice Palace, there is still one item remaining, it looks like. So we've still got the possibility of having to go back in there and clear it out, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. I've seen a red rupee, and no, that would have been the third item. I think there was 2 red rupees in there. So Kyong making probably the... I'm going to trust Kyong because he's very good at this game, that he's been counting the items and knows that there's nothing else in there. And he's moving into his Moldorm fight. Oof. That last spin almost knocking him off, but Moldorm is exploding and we're rewarded with a compass. Unfortunately, I was not quite looking. I was kind of looking over at SneakyWombat's side. There might be an item left in the basement. I hope not, but there might be. Alright, it's just the compass, people are telling me, so there we go. And Kyong is out of there. So it is time to, I think this is going to open up Turtle Rock really fast and maybe see exactly how far the game will let me go inside it. Now, it's possible, but possible that Kyong could get all the way to Laser Bridge with his current setup, but it requires a very specific, very mean set of keys. You'd have to go something like small key, big key, small key to get down there. It's not very likely, but it has happened before, and the way that this seed is being not very likely is its name. And that is, yep, our tracker points out a something important there as well, that one more thing is in Logic. Spike Cave with that hammer is now in Logic. Or it's not actually in Logic, because we don't have... Oh my. That's a flute in the first chest of Turtle Rock. Well, back to Kakariko Village to activate the flute. Sorry if I'm a little speechless right now. I mean, the hits just keep on coming with this seed right now. This is just an absolute madness here. As Kyong is freeing his little ducky friend, and he's now going to activate a little bit faster travel. All right, and it looks like we are going to go off to Misery Mire because, you know, this one thing that we know is that we can actually complete this dungeon. We have all 3 medallions, and we have the Cane of Samaria. So Misery Mire is going to be finished next. Else here, and there's a heart piece is the first in the Mire Shed, and the mirror. So that mirror now opens up the Desert Palace as well. So I wonder, yeah, I was wondering if Kyong is a little bit interested in, hey, wait a minute, am I boots locked? Oh, into Desert Palace we go. This torch is going to be a very interesting find. It is just a map, so thankfully we're not boots locked on top of everything else. And our tracker does point out that this does put the big bomb, the Pyramid Fairy, into Logic as well, so that's another thing that we might need to route in, because we are still, at this point, well, rod away from go mode, if I'm right. Kyong has picked up his big key and is going to make his way back to kill Lanmo. And sorry about, we've kind of been looking at Kyong for a while here because he's the one been leading most of the progression. SneakyWombat on his side is currently undergoing the same ridiculous hammer hunt that Kyong went through a little bit, and it looks like he is on his way now into Ice Palace to finally get his hammer. This seed has just treated our runners extremely rudely today, and I believe we're going to have a word with the Sasharala bot after this, because this is not something that you should give someone to play unless you're very angry at them. Kyong is pulling out the ice rod here, so we're going to see a little bit of ice rod, and oh my, that is a fantastic one cycle ice rod kill. That is a lot harder than he made that look. And that is crystal number 3 for Kyong. I mean, that's pretty hard to say at this point, saying we're almost an hour and 10 minutes in. But yes, that's only crystal number 3 at an hour and 10 minutes in. This seed has been very cruel to our runners. And it looks like there is an item in the big chest here in Desert Palace. So we've got one more chance to land the fire rod and maybe, just maybe, get into go mode here. There is something that needs to be mentioned right now. Hold on. 50 rupees. There is something that needs to be mentioned. There is one more place that no one has mentioned that the fire rod could be if this really wants to get screwy for our runners. That, if it does end up on the pedestal, I think at that point we just need to call this the legendary seed. Alright, SneakyWombat's setting up for his Ice Palace bomb jump there. Looks like he's got it. Gets across the platform pretty easily there. And into Misery Mire we go. The medallion requirement today was Bombos, and we got that, I want to say, quite a long time ago. I believe we pulled that one out of the chest game. Seemingly 45 minutes ago. And into Misery Mire we go. Alright, Kyong making his way through Mire too without too much of a problem there. SneakyWombat kind of getting chased around by some Freezors in that room there. He's going to pull out his Bombos and nuke them. Fortunately, he's going to be rewarded with a compass, which means he's going to have to go the long way to get the hammer, which is in one of the dumbest locations possible. As Kyong, of course, gets the God Mire set up. Unfortunately, he's not in go mode, so chances are he's still going to go straight to the back anyway, because if you're one item away, you might as well go kill Vitreous just to see if Vitreous is holding it for you. Picks up the small key and is on his way back. SneakyWombat having fun with ice physics in there and trying to figure out why do ice physics plus doorways require the game to be so hard. Taking a fall there from that fire bar and seemingly voicing his displeasure with that. Getting knocked over, and it's going to get through the door now, kind of, if he can get off that one little pixel. It's rewarded with the big key, and we are off to... Now, that's the question here. Which way are you going to go, SneakyWombat? Are you going to go to the big chest? The right play is to go to the big chest. Now, where the item is the wrong play, because if you go up here first, you'd have to come back in for the big chest. Now, for him, luckily, this is where his progression is going to be, but if it happened to be in the big chest, he wouldn't be able to get over right now because he doesn't have another key. Luckily, this is going to work out just fine for him. And we're going to get to see the Vitreous fight over on Kyong's side. He's got some arrows out. He's going to go for the Tempered Sword spins here. Going to take a little damage boost from the goo on Vitreous's floor there, and then just pump 8 arrows right in there. as SneakyWombat has picked up his hammer, and he's going to continue on in Ice Palace because he hasn't found his third item yet. And Kyong takes down Vitreous without too much problem, and is picking up crystal number 4 for him. Okay, so what's left? Oh man, some really bad options are still left here for these runners. As SneakyWombat has ended back up at the very top of Ice Palace here, and he's going to be going back down and around, it looks like. Right, and our tracker is posting in chat all of the amazing options that our runners have ahead of them for where this fire rod could be. It could also be on the green pendant, because green pendant is swamp, and it could theoretically be there as well, because, you know, at that point the game just hates you and hates everything about you. I mean, yeah, that is a list of places for this for this fire rod. Unfortunately, that is quite long. Now Kyung's going to give us the big chest there. It's just having a compass in it, and we've got one more chest on this side before we're going to have to do some... Yes, it's off to the cutscene chest. And again, no fire rod means we gotta light these the slow way with the lamp. Find out that it's 20 rupees in the, I believe that was the compass chest there in Misery Mire. So now time for the big, long, slow, wall moving check up in the top here. That has picked up his third item in Ice Palace there, and I guess he had pushed the block. He had done the Ice Palace bomb jump earlier and then hit the switch, so I guess he doesn't need to do it now, because there's his block sitting right there. So he's going to go ahead and finish Cold Stare, as we are waiting for the off-screen wall to move on Kyung's side so we can get on with the rest of this. Already pulling out his mirror. I don't think he's very optimistic. And yep, just a heart container. Ooh, okay, and unfortunately it looks like on SneakyWombat's side, that Cold Stare he didn't spin Cold Stare into the corner here now, so now he's got 3 puffs coming around trying to kill him. He takes down 1 without too much problem. 2 more left remaining here. Even with the red mail, these puffs do hurt quite a bit. Takes down the second one, and we're going for puff number 3 here. And okay, I thought he had it there for a second, and ooh, this one seems to be taking quite a few hits. Down to 1 heart, and whew, takes him down there at the end. This Kyong is dealing with just a squadron of dive bombers there, just blasting him away. All right, and that is SneakyWombat's second dungeon completed here at 117, and that's not to say that he's doing anything wrong. It's just this seed has been incredibly convoluted and incredibly mean. that hammer location there in Ice Palace is always something that is going to slow down every single runner. And saying that really the next thing for our runners to find is going to be this fire rod, which, man, if you know where that is, please tell the runners, because they have been looking really hard for it for the past hour and 20 minutes. All right. And it looks like Kyung's next decision here is going to be going up to the Pyramid Fairy and seeing if that's where our go mode item is. All right, drops the bomb here, has to wait for the 3 seconds to go by. On SneakyWombat's side, he's going to bet on Pod being the next location for him. 300 rupees and 20 rupees, so 320 rupees on Kyung's side in the pyramid. All right, where to? I feel like Kyong is right now just doing everything in his power to say, I don't want to go to Swamp. It's probably going to grab his Hammer Pigs check here. That's the only part of the Smith chain that he has left. And I wouldn't be surprised then to see a quick Graveyard Ledge check into and then mirror and head into the portal down south to Swamp, because at this point, it feels like he's decided that I'm not going to Swamp first. I don't want to, and I completely understand that feeling, because at this point, pushed you around so much that you're kind of, I think, mentally pushing back at some point. It finds 50 rupees, and unfortunately, your princess is not in this hole. We're going to be going up to Graveyard Ledge now. SneakyWombat is making his way down to fight with Helmasaur. Now, our tracker here, who I am trusting completely, is telling us that there's just a compass on Helmasaur here, so this is not going to be an item for SneakyWombat, but it will be his second crystal, which at this point I think is more important. Yeah, that has kind of been the theme of this day, is let's walk very slowly all over Hyrule. It's a extremely long walk. Like if one of these characters was wearing a pedometer here, that thing would be up in the like 10,000s. As we find out, there is our fire rod in Graveyard Ledge, and so we can say at an hour and 21 minutes and roughly 45 seconds, Kyung has entered Go mode. And it looks like he's got 3 dungeons left to complete. He's got Skull Woods, Pod, and Turtle Rock. It looks like the first one that he is going to be doing is Skull Woods. He's going to go kill the moth, and then I wouldn't be surprised to see him go Pod and save Turtle Rock for last, because that way he can just walk directly to GT and just make it nice and easy. On SneakyWombat's side, he did take down Helmasaur, so he has got his second crystal now, and it's now time for him to figure out exactly where he needs to go next, because the answer is really, really dumb. So let's review. Let's review. How did we get to this point? In order to complete the seed, logically, we'll go with logically, not with what actually happened. Logically, you got your Dark World access through your mitts. Okay, great. Then there was basically nothing else for you. The next thing you needed to do was you needed to get your hookshot out of pod, which required you to do aga for the entry to the east side of Dark World. Once you got your hookshot, then you had to go up up the mountain to get your flippers. After you got your flippers, you had to go get your hammer. After you get your hammer, you had to go into Turtle Rock to get your crazy just even saying it, as Kyong takes down his boss, gets a heart container. Yeah, sorry, to go get to Turtle Rock to get your flute to Mire to get your mirror in Graveyard Ledge to get your fire rod. And if you did all of that, you got to be in go mode like Kyong is right now. I mean, that is one of the longest, most ridiculous chains I have ever heard. And we are off to pod, and SneakyWombat is off to take his purple chest back down to Gary and find out that I believe it was only 20 rupees. So at some point for him, he's got to try to figure out that the next place that he has open is, of all places, Turtle Rock, so that he can get his flute. Which, I mean, that's not an easy thing to figure out at this point. On SneakyWombat's side, I think we're going to get our first check of Spike Cave here now. Unfortunately, again, that's not going to end up helping him, as he needs to go to Turtle Rock to go get that flute. But it is one more thing that we could see, and, you know, it could be silvers or it could be boots for that matter, and if it is boots, could end up changing his mind. All right. There is still the possibility that the seed decides to put the GT big key on the torch, and at that point, well, we're not finished yet. So we're go mode pending boots right now. We're not going to be worrying about that quite yet because, yeah, we're not going to be worrying about that quite yet. It looks like SneakyWombat is making the correct play here, and is going to Hera first here. So this is good for him. He's going to end up with get his third crystal there, and hopefully at that point he goes over and dips into Turtle Rock so he can get his flute and get a little bit closer to being able to complete this seed. Alright, 17 hits of the hammer to Helmasaur's face will break open his mask, and at that point you've got to just hit him on the jewel a few times with this tempered sword. 4 tempered sword slashes will take care of it there. And 4. Down goes our good friend Dino Kitty. And he's rewarded with his compass, but most importantly is rewarded with his 6th crystal, as SneakyWombat unfortunately it looks like he's not too familiar with the Herapot, so he's going to go the long way here to get his big key out of the basement of Tower of Hera. So, as Kyong is climbing the mountain here again, I will say one more time, if you would like to, please do go ahead, give these runners a follow. They are representing Team Kinda Rando Retired and Team Hot Dish. Kyung is playing for Kinda Rando Retired there. As you can see, there's 3 points by their name. Each win for your team gives you 3 points. Earlier, these two teams played. It was Super Nintendo, it's not Super Nintendo, Super Nintailor, their first game of the sets between these two teams, beating, I believe it was Keg in the Closet. I'll double check that really fast, make sure I got the name right. Yeah, Keg in the Closet for Team Hot Dish. Looks like there's Kyung does have quite a commanding lead at this point, so there's a good chance that he will end up taking this second part of it as well. But if you could, do give these runners a follow, because this is, especially this seed, has been mean and awful to the runners. So any little bit of love shown their way will probably make them feel a heck of a lot better. And into Turtle Rock, we finally go, and Kyung rightly remembering that he's already seen the bottom left chest in Turtle Rock, so he's going immediately to the torch room to grab these other 2 chests after he lights these torches and jumps down a pit. And finds the these Uncle 10 bomb pack, and just another key here. SneakyWombat making his way up to Moldorm. I think he just had the... Yeah, he's gonna be... Yeah, it looks like he's just remembered that he has picked up both items and is on his way to get his 3rd crystal there. Now, unfortunately for Kyung, it looks like, as SneakyWombat got knocked off there, Moldorm said SneakyWombat in the corner pocket and pushed him right off. Unfortunately for Kyung, it looks like that big key is going to be in the lava chest, so no stealing of keys today. It looks like we're going to go, because we haven't gone the long way enough today, looks like we're going to go the long way around Turtle Rock as well. He moves down here. He's going to get the spin attack on the Pokey, Hokoboku, whatever you want to exactly call him. Takes a laser to the face as SneakyWombat takes down Moldorm and picks up their 3rd crystal. Well, he has Mirror Shield, but if you're in bunny form, you don't have Mirror Shield, so that was kind of how Kyung ended up taking that laser to the face there. Bunny form only counts if your bunny form does override your light world form there until you get hit. And sure enough, Kyung took 1 shot, but with red mail, those lasers only end up doing 1 heart of damage, as you can see. So remembers that he needs to open that chest, only gets a compass. So looks like we are going to end up going to Laser Bridge today, because we've been everywhere else. And SneakyWombat finally getting into Turtle Rock. He's going to get rewarded here, finally, with the flute, eventually. All right, we're making our way through the maze here. One of the more difficult rooms when I was a little kid to pull through here. You always ended up seeming to go the wrong way, and it took me a little bit extra. Kyong going through like a champ, not having any problem with it whatsoever. SneakyWombat has realized, yeah, oh wait, I can't do anything else in here, but I can use that flute for something. Sanctuary, and 2 Hyrule, and 2 Kakariko there to pick that up. Is first chest on Laser Bridge is going to be the map, not the cape, then the map, then a shovel, and of course the last chest on Laser Bridge is the small key that you need to open the door to Trinex. Game really wants our runners to get their collection rates as high as possible today. As SneakyWombat is playing his little flute there and releasing his ducky friend, about to go down and get his mirror, as Kyong is walking into Trinex. Now, of this Trinex fight, we will be playing a game, so don't get your numbers in yet there, chat, but here very soon we're going to get put your numbers in from 1 to 22 for the GT Big Key guessing game here. We're going to start that up in just a second as soon as Kyong takes this down. Alright, and Trinex is exploding, and I am dropping the command in chat right now. Go ahead, get your guesses in for the Big Key guessing game there. Numbers between 1 and 22. If your number is right, you will receive all the internet points in the world here. Actually, you will receive some actual points as well. SneakyWombat has finally picked up his mirror and is 1 step away from go mode, finally. I say finally because this seed has just been awful to these runners. Kyong is making his way over to tower here, and I still see some people in chat there asking for even more fun for these runners. Alright, I'm going to be stopping this game here in just a minute. As soon as Kyong enters Ganon's tower, we will be stopping this game. What numbers haven't been taken? Oh, darn, you just took my number. I'm going to be nice. We're going to say 2. Alright. Kyong's making his way up. He got one last chance here to get it in. And I'm closing it there. Alright, so we're going to start with Hope Room today here and find out that we've got a small key. And silver arrows. So the game rewarding the runners after pushing them through all of this fun stuff here. SneakyWombat is currently walking around Mire here. He's about to go into that and complete that dungeon. Looks like he's took a quick pit stop there to go over and check to see if Fire Rod was just going to be hanging out in Checkerboard Cave. Kyong is making his way down into the compass room over here. He's going to see if this is where our big key is. This is going to be chests number 3, 4, 5, and 6. As number 3 is some bombs. Number 4 is the 20 rupees. 5 is just a piece of heart. And 6 is 10 arrows. So, yep, nope, not on this side. Now, we still have the chance, because we have not seen the torch yet. There is a chance that the key is on the torch, and which in that case means we've still got a whole lot of fun ahead of us. And we're going to find out, are we actually in go mode? Yes, we are, because that's a single rupee. So, Kyong can breathe a sigh of relief, and so can the commentator, because this has been one ridiculous seed. I'm moving into the Stalfos room now. That is chest number 8. Chest number 9 is a small key. A book right there, and chest number 11 is just a map. I have so many questions for these runners when we're done with this, because this thing is just, it's just kind of kept going for these guys. It's nothing that they could do wrong. Kyong has done this about as fast as I think you could have with just these item placements. Even then, it's going to be pushing pretty close to a 150 completion time here, but it's just not wanting to play nice. Using that nice boomerang there to hit those switches. Decent little strat to get through there without too many problems. Still looking for a big key. I think we're up to number 12, I believe. That's not it either, so there is 300 rupees. Into the randomizer room, called so because you only see this in randomizer. You'd pretty much never go here in the vanilla game, and that is it. I believe that was key number 13, if I am right. At least that's what I'm calling here. Is there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14. 14? All right, I'm gonna count that again. 14 is the winner. All right, chat. Key 14. And the winner of the big key guessing game is our tracker. Idiom, good job there, bud. And again, as always, big shout outs to our tracker here for clicking the buttons behind the scene and just generally trying to make this a little bit easier. It should count 100% that you won this. Alright, SneakyWombat is dropping in, and he's going to pick up his second item in Misery Mire. Find out that, unfortunately, no, Fire Rod's not in here. You're not in go mode yet. But you get to go fight Vitreous, so, you know, there you go. As Kyong moves into the gauntlet here, half magic plus silver arrows plus fire rod, like he's got a couple of different options for how he wants to take this out here. First two rooms go down without a hitch there, and then those blue Zizaks really just set up quite nicely for him. Red ones too there. He's mowing through this gauntlet without any issue whatsoever here. And onwards he goes to land mode 2 as SneakyWombat is making his way back to Vitreous here. This is the one cycle on Kyong's side here, so he's going to have to pick up the last one. Gets it without any problem here, so just a quick one cycle. Picks up one additional heart for the rest of this climb here. That without boots, a couple of these rooms are a little bit more annoying to do than the others, just because you could get knocked off and then 1.0'd, and there's all sorts of ways here that this could go a little bit poorly for you here. SneakyWombat, though, is going to be on a 3-heart Vitreous fight here. It doesn't look like he has any safeties, and he's considering, okay, how am I gonna, what's the best way to do this? So, on SneakyWombat's side there, he's going to go for the go into the corner and slam the button strat. This is a viable strat. You have to kind of be careful there because those little eyeballs can get their way through there, and if they get through, they can hit you. And he gets him down there without any problem. And now he needs to pop 8 arrows into Vitreous's big eyeball there. Or into Vitreous, I guess. And pulls it out there. Good fight there on SneakyWombat's side. Making sure also not to go onto the goo too early because he's got only a single heart of health there. Kyong deciding that, you know what, forget it. I don't need any sort of health refills or magic refills. I'm jumping directly into Moldorm 2. I think this is called, I'm tired of the seed, I want to be done. Choosing not to open Moldorm's toy box there, and onward we go into Aga 2, and Kyong should be onto his Ganon fight here pretty quickly. These mini Helmosaurs trying to chase after him, not having a whole lot of help, a whole lot of luck there, as he gets away from him pretty quickly. All right. Ooh. Oh, almost a triple there for Kyong there on the very first one. Picks up a double instead. Gets a blue ball, unfortunately, so he could only pull out a single off of that next one. Kind of an ugly pattern for his third phase here. Gets one. Got to be a little careful down to this nice little lineup there. Pulls out that, gets a double, and finally, down goes the pig. Oh wait, down goes the pig. Down goes Aga 2. We're about to go down to fight the pig. I forgot a preposition there. All right, and Kyong is jumping into his Ganon fight. Ganon is going to tell us about some nutritional facts about whole grains. Only 3 hearts for this fight here. Sets up the 1-1 here. Looks like he got it without any problem, and we're on to phase 2. Each phase, you've got 12 hearts that you need to go ahead and take down. A couple of fire bats here. Now, the fire bats will only do 2 hearts of damage with red mail, so he's got 2 hits available. Just dodges them like an absolute champ. And we're on to phase 3 already, and Ganon's throwing a temper tantrum and gonna knock down the edges of the platform. Switches to his silver arrows here because he's 1 hit away from phase 4 where we can actually really damage Ganon. Weakness. 1 shot for that. He's going to set it up. Going for the... didn't quite get Ganon stunned in the center there. Looks like he's got a setup for a triple here. He's going to go 1, 2, and 3. And that's a triple to finish for Kyong. All he's got to do is cross this one little 1x3 bridge, and that will be a win for Kyong here. Get your GGs into chat because this has been a silly seed. And Kyong crosses the line, finally finishing this epically awful seed with a SRL time of 1:46.08. Definitely get your GGs into chat here. Hopefully we'll be having Kyong join us in the commentary booth in a second here because words and things and whoo, man. SneakyWombat on his side there. He's working his way through Landmo. He's gonna take him down here. Unfortunately, no silvers. Choosing not to use the ice rod there. Instead, going for just some spin slashes there with the tempered sword and just general trying to get a couple of arrow shots. It looks in as well. Almost got him down there. And that would be SneakyWombat's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th crystal there, finally, and continue with the rest of his thing here. We'll have to see if Kyong feels like coming in and joining us in the commentary booth here for a quick interview. See if he gets the invite here or something in just a second. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about this seed. Just basically, what's the worst place that you could put almost everything? Just from watching it on this end, it was tiresome. It was tiresome just to watch it because of the amount of walking and such like that both runners had to do looking for everything in there. All right. It looks like Kyung's gonna join us here in just a couple of minutes, as we watch SneakyWombat try to suss out that the fire rod is hiding over in Graveyard Ledge. Just one more of those things that is just made this seed a whole barrel full of laughs. It looks like SneakyWombat's going to choose on his side here that he's going to go ahead and get the big bomb here and check out what he's got. Check out there. Unfortunately, that's just going to get him a little bit of money. Probably going to head up towards the Graveyard Ledge area here pretty soon. Unfortunately, looks like he lost his bomb. I don't know if our tracker sees what was on the ped, but you called it. Powder was on the ped today. Alright, SneakyWombat is about to pop open this Pyramid Fairy, grab his 300 rupees, and his big 20 as well. Oh, hey, you get to see what's in the Pyramid Fairy's giving out fairies. That's kind of nice. SneakyWombat doesn't look too happy about it as he goes back and throws one more in. All right, now, not really sure where he's going to be heading off to right now. It's down here for him. Is this a swamp play? Oh. This is called I just looked at my SRL window, I believe. And there's a little Quake salute, it looks like, from SneakyWombat here. Alright, and with that, it does look like that would be a forfeit from SneakyWombat there. You know, so go ahead and if you could get your GGs into chat there for SneakyWombat in a because you know putting up with this seed was, like I said, not a whole lot of fun. You got pulled around everywhere just to try to find this thing, try to find your items there. With any luck, we can maybe pull him in for a interview as well, but we'll see. It did kind of, from looking from the SRO window, it looks like he's like, I just want to go get some dinner. If possible, maybe we'll be joined by Kyong here in just a second, if he would like. As right now we're looking at the stats come up for the rest of the seed here. Give you an idea, that flute and that mirror, they were found back to back in each other. That flute was in the first chest of Turtle Rock. That mirror was found then in in Mire Shed, which was just one of the many things that we had to do in this seed. 2-minute menu time there for Kyong. That is an underrated skill for definitely for speedrunning here, and a collection rate of 158. And it looks like Kyong should be joining us here in just a minute here. And yep, we are joined now in I am joined in chat now by Kyong. GG's there, man. That was an interesting seed. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was pretty rough. It was kind of nice on the like weapons and armor on that side of things, but all the rest, oh man.
I mean, saying that it's a like 100% like AGA required seed, you were able to jump around that, which was kind of good. And then it was strangely linear.
Yeah.
Almost.
But it's like it's linear, but the places where you need to go are usually the last places you're gonna check. So it's like you just do everything basically.
I mean, just looking at that, just looking at like the moment when we realized that Ice Palace was the play, because I think at one point you were doing the purple chest, SneakyWombat went off to Eastern Palace, so we got the information first that there was nothing there for either of you guys, and everybody just kind of looked at each other and went, "Oh God, it's in Ice Palace," and we nobody knew exactly what the progression was going to be. We just knew it was going to be something.
It was,
and it was
also
going to be
in the worst chest possible too.
That was insane.
The key layout was horrible. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, we just watching it from my end. I spent the entire time just going like trying to stifle like laughter. You know, I'm like, it's funny because it's not happening to me.
Yeah, I was like thinking back how the last time I played an open seed was at the beginning of last December. So this was the first open seed I did this year, and I was thinking, man, maybe this should be my last one as well, because oh my God, that was rough.
I mean, with your name being kind of rando retired, I can see that's a seed that would make you want to be fully rando retired right there. Oh wow. Well, we've been at this for about 2 hours now, so I think Speed Gaming probably wants us to wrap this up here. But any final thoughts about this?
Yeah, just thank you very much for the returning, doing the whole commentary solo as well. It's not easy.
I'm gonna have to say a quick thank you to you as well for putting up with this seed. Also, I'm gonna say a thank you for what am I trying to say? The Rando Simulator. My daughter loves playing that.
Oh, nice. I appreciate that a lot.
No worries there. So yeah, thank you for doing this. Looks like SneakyWombat just decided that, you know what, he'd rather have dinner than come and talk about the seed, which I completely understand. Here, so with that, I guess we're gonna wrap this up for tonight there. So again, GG's to Kyong, GG's to SneakyWombat. Thank you for coming out tonight and putting on a show for all of us. Also, big thank yous to Idiomp there, our tracker, who clicked the buttons behind the scene and made sure that we got all of this taken care of. Other than that, thank you to Speed Gaming for putting this on. Give Speed Gaming Networks a follow. There's going to be lots and lots of races still happening. I believe on a couple of the different speed gaming channels, there are still league races happening today. There will be league races tomorrow and pretty much every day for the next 7 weeks. So come out and join us. We'll see you again soon. My name was Dazed Cloud, and thanks for coming out. Y'all have a great night and see you next time.